We are the Rock and Roll Rowdies.
Yeah.
With Pink Floyd, when I'd done a Pink Floyd tour, we were in Moscow, and it was an indoor arena. It was a football stadium, indoors. You know,
big.
And all the stagehands were soldiers. They were all squaddies.
Uh-huh.
So we were trading, T-shirts,
Right.
for Russian fur caps and belts, army belts and all of that, jackets, Russian clothing was very fashionable then. This was the mid-80s.
80s, yeah.
Yeah, and Russian clothing was very fashionable. So we were trading it off left. And these young lads were turning up with all this gear on, and they'd be leaving with Pink Floyd T-shirts on. And they were in the army, They hadn't a clue what was going on. They didn't know about equipment. They'd never seen it before. Mm-hmm. And, they had to help set it up.
Yeah, they're just farm boys.
And Pink Floyd's setup, that was like...
It's pretty big.
Big. It was, and the stage was 90 metres by 60, and 5 stories high, with running water and electricity, because the lasers needed running water.
It'd be cool, like a radio.
Yeah. So it was unbelievable. And that had to be built in this stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tougher for you guys. I mean, I know for me, I didn't have a big production. Yeah. My bands were a lot smaller. Great bands, not saying anything about it, but a lot of bands like them, the AWBs, as Granny knows, we never had a production.
We just had a one, the front of the semi-truck, the dance floor with the back line.
Yeah.
Two, the simple lighting rigs.
We had two towers.
The spectrum, isn't it?
It is the other end. We all started off in transit vans.
Yeah.
And then finished up.
How many semis?
20 odd something, 3 stages.
And what year was
3
that?
stages.
Yeah.
In the mid-80s.
Mid-80s.
In the mid-80s. So there was a stage being built, there was a stage being used, and there was a stage being taken down.
Yeah.
3 stages, 2 roofs or something, or 3 roofs, So they were leapfrogging each other. So I don't know how many trucks were doing the staging, but we had about 20 odd with the back line and the sound and the lights.
Look at that. Mal's talking, Bobby, about 1986, 85?
80, I think it was 87, 88 with Pink Floyd.
So you think
Delicate Sound of Thunder tour.
Yeah,
We've done 200 shows in 22 months.
So look how the band technology had advanced, just over 10 years. It's amazing. We started out, we were talking about a 4-wheel tranny, then you get a 6-wheel tranny, and then you get a box tranny, and you really think you're making it when you start getting full back on your PA. That's a couple of extra boxes, a couple of extra amps. Next, bit by bit, it got more and more into it. I remember being hired by Stackridge, another classic wacky British band, and they said Pete Donovan, our friend Pete Donovan, he'll feature occasionally. He's we'll maybe get an interview with him. He's a good lad. But he says, "You've done monitors, right?" I go, "Oh yeah." You never said you hadn't done anything. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I get to this first gig, and there's this rack. It's all color-coded, and I managed to figure it out. It was all very well labeled, thank God. But I just stood there like, what the fuck am I doing? The sax player's going, with the clarinet player, I'm like, I looked like I'm turning a knob. I didn't do anything. You go, that's better. I go, I'm learning monitors. I go, I'll pretend, all right, I've got this down. I've got this. In the end, did the best I could for them. But that was what you did. You weren't afraid to take on something new. And look what Mal's on about. But by the time we come to the mid-80s, it's massive rigs and how quickly it all developed. That's fascinating. I never got too technical. I was never much more than a backline guy. Then I got into stage managing, man. Cool.
You can hear more from the Rock and Roll Rowdies on all major podcast platforms. And please follow us on facebook.com/Rock and Roll Rowdies. Yeah!